I've noticed 8 things right off the bat. Number 1, it's stock. Number 2 is tape on the scope. Number 3 is the glare tube on the scope. Number 4, the trigger guard. Number 5, the magazine. Number 6, the magazine well, and the charging handle, and the safety selector. None of them look right to me. So we're going to zoom in and see what all we can find. I just noticed the biggest problem with this gun. Do you see it right there? It's going to be number 9 on the list. This looks like some kind of cheap synthetic stock, possibly tactical. It don't have a cutaway to be a bolt action. The barrel shroud definitely don't match. And the cutaway it's there don't look deep enough for the action of AK-47. I'd say this furniture don't belong in the living room. Now, I'm not saying I know much about AK-47 because I don't. What I'm saying, there's a bunch of things on this rifle that just don't look right to me. And this rifle will be a part of American history from now on. We're dead and gone. This rifle will still be in the history books. So I'm going to go over it and point out the things I think is wrong with this rifle. It just don't add up. So we're going to look at the scope now. We have zip ties with electrical tape, a homemade looking glare tube, and it's on the wrong end of the scope, and the front cone of the scope is resting on the receiver between part of the rear sights. There's nothing about this makes any sense. Them zip ties, my lord. I guess he didn't have no mounts, no way to mount it to the top of the gun. Then you take the glare tube, it was going to put your eye way back far back. So there's no way I don't think you could shoot it without cutting your eye out. And then you take the scope laying on top of the receiver or on the rear sights. That don't make no sense because there goes your accuracy. Unless he's just going to use that scope for the optics on his front sight. I don't know, but nothing about this gun makes any sense to me. Now let's look at number 4 here. The first thing that stands out to me, that trigger guard looks like it's just stuck on there. And I'm not for sure the zip ties ain't holding it on. The other thing, it looks like it could be any rifle hanging in the back window of a pickup. It does not look like an AK-47 rifle trigger guard to me. Let's compare it. Even the trigger don't look right. Now this is AK trigger guard. It's more square, and the trigger at the bottom, it rolls more forward, and on the Assassin's rifle, it rolls backwards towards the bottom. Plus, you have the magazine release is attached to the AK trigger guard too. The other rifle is 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in front of the trigger guard. Well, at this point, I'm much rather squeeze a sleeping bear's nose than I would have round off out of this gun. Let's go back and check out the magazine and magazine wheel. Well, this magazine's curved like an AK-47 mag. The only thing is this dog leg right there. That would keep it from going up into AK's mag well. It just wouldn't go. Compared to these AK mags, they don't have no dog legs on them. Now the Assassin's mag well, you must have to stick that dog leg up into the front of the mag well and rock it back into the magazine release. Compared to the AK, which is more of a straight-on approach, they had to rock it back just a little to get the release to catch. Some of you may have already figured out this gun, so don't start yelling at me. We're going to check out the charging handle, which I think is the best part, and the safety selector. Originally, I thought this was part of the rear sight, but you can see the rear sight's in front of that mess. That's the charging handle. Wrapped in electric tape for some reason. That's the awfulest mess I've ever seen. Okay, let's compare it to the AK-47 charging handle. Well, here's your charging handle, and the bolt slides back this way. And right here's your rear sights, and they're about even with the charging handle. That's a big difference. Here's your charging handle, which would make this the safety selector, which would move up and down, which would put it too deep down into the stock. I don't believe this is a safety selector. Let's compare. This part was what I thought was sticking up above the stock, but as you can see, there's no way this lever is going down into that stock and be usable. I about think Uncle Trump would have been safer in front of that gun than the Assassin was behind it. Scary gun, man. I think we pretty much ruled out an AK-47 and number 9 wheel. So let's take a look at it. I knew this area right here didn't look right to me. If you'll look right there, if you had a line between there, you got about a 1/2 inch or so between the back of the trigger guard and the back of the receiver. Let's compare to the AK-47. As you can see right here, between the trigger guard and the back of the receiver, you got about 3 inches. So we just ruled out AK-47. I just want to take a second to thank y'all for going down this rabbit hole with me. I'll show the gun here just in a minute. If you enjoyed yourself, please hit the like button, subscribe. It'll help me out. But I want to take a second just to say we all need to keep Trump in our prayers because he's got a lot of evil forces against him. And the world's on fire right now. He may be our only chance to put some of them flowers out. But let's pray they can keep him safe, him and his family. Now back to the gun. I know some of you know from the get-go that this was an SKS. I'll have to say I did not know that when I started on this. Which I knew something didn't look right. I'm a little slow, so I finally caught on. So let's get back and we'll show what kind of gun this really is for anybody that don't know. Thank y'all. Come back. This is SKS. I know some was made in Russia, I think, China, different places. And they're supposed to be pretty reliable and pretty accurate. That's about all I know about. Thanks for hanging around with me.